So in this portion of the Bhagavatam pertaining to the instructions given by Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti, understanding material nature. So here we are seeing how a pure devotee, a realized soul, sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. How does a devotee see the Lord everywhere? So we find here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions how in Brahma Samhita it is stated how Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. The devotees, they have got love towards the Supreme Lord. They have got devotion, loving devotion towards the Supreme Lord. So this is the qualification which helps them see the Supreme Lord everywhere. One more point is Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Where is the Supreme Lord? Andantarastham. He is present in each and every atom. Paramanu Chaya Andantarastham Paramanu Chayantarastham. In each and every atom, even within that, in every object, the Lord is present in his plenary portion. So now if we say, oh, the Lord is present in every atom, in every object or whatever what we see in this material world, so he has lost his original identity, he has lost his original form. The answer is no. He has not lost his original form, because the Lord, as explained in the Ishopanishad, Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So he is that full, the Supreme Lord, and from that, if an entire plenary portion is taken out, still what remains is full, and the portion which is taken out, that is also full. So this is the understanding of the Supreme Lord. So here in this verse we see there are 6 attributes mentioned of the Supreme Lord as seen by a pure devotee or a realized soul. Pratipadyate. Pratipadyate means to realize. So a realized soul sees the Supreme Lord. How does he see? Of course, in the later verses, this explanation, it continues. Here in this verse, 6 points are mentioned. The first one, Mukta Lingam. Lingam means a specific form, a specific attribute, or a bondage. We are engaged within specific body, but the Supreme Lord, he is not engaged. He is not under any bondage. He is Mukta Lingam. He is transcendental. He is absolute personality of Godhead who is transcendental. Then the second one, Sat Abhasam. Abhasa means a reflection. Abhasa, we say, a reflection or a dim light or dim reflection of the original, which is not the original, that is known as Abhasa. Sat Abhasam Asati. Asat or Asati means the false ego. So just before this, in the previous chapter, we were hearing how the entire material creation is created originally, like the different stages we were understanding, wherein these were all manifestation of false ego, ahankara. When false ego comes in touch with the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, various things it gives rise to. So here we see the Lord, He is present even in the manifestation of false ego. That is, the Lord is present even in the material world. How? Sat Abhasam. He is not present here in His original form, but He is present here as a reflection only. Sat Abhasam Asati. Asati means referring to this material world, a creation of false ego. He is present in this false ego, creation of false ego also, but as a reflection only. Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate. Then third one, Sataha bandhum. He is the support of the material cause. There is a material cause, various causes. In another portion of the Bhagavatam, all those things are mentioned. So He is the support. Sataha bandhum. Bandhu means a friend, a person who helps, a person who supports. It is the Supreme Lord who is the support of the material cause also. Then Asat Chakshuhu, He is the eye or the revealer of the illusory energy. See, various meanings are there. The translation Srila Prabhupada mentions as He is the eyes of the illusory energy. In the word-to-word meaning we see Asat Chakshuhu. He, the eye, the revealer of the illusory energy. For pure devotees, the Lord, He reveals. They can easily make out what is spiritual, what is material. What is or who is Krishna, what is Maya. Everybody cannot make out this difference, but pure devotees, realized souls, liberated souls, they can. Then, Sarva Anusyutam. Anusyutam means He has entered into. The Lord, He has entered into what? Sarva Anusyutam. He has entered into everything. As Karanodakashayi Vishnu, He entered the universal egg, the Brahmanda. As the Karanodakashayi Vishnu, He lay in the causal ocean and He expanded as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and then entered into each and every Brahmanda or the universe. And after the secondary creation, He entered into each and every atom of everything created in this material world. So this is Sarva Anusyutam, entered into everything. And He is Advayam, without a second. He is that one Supreme Personality of Godhead without a second. Asamordhva. Nobody is equal to Him, nobody is above Him. Everyone are below Him. So all the living entities below Him are subordinate to Him. There is no second Lord or some competitor to the Supreme Lord. He is Advayam. Another meaning of Advayam is, we see how, as it is mentioned here, Sarva Anusyutam Advayam. Prabhupada mentions here, by His partial or plenary expansion, is present not only within this universe and each and every universe, but in every atom. Although He is one without a second, the word Advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, He is not divided. So this is what we should understand. Because there is one category of philosophers who say, originally there was Lord and He created. After His creation, He got divided into everything. Now that original form is not there, which is completely false. They give the example of a paper. Now one paper is there. It's very symmetric, a rectangular shape. Now, if we tear this paper into say some 10 or 20, 100 pieces, only the pieces of this paper will remain, the original paper won't remain. That's a fact in case of this paper. But that is not the case of the Supreme Lord. Just like in this material world only we have seen. There is a father. The father has got many children. Oh, the father has begotten many children. Now the father doesn't exist. He has become all those children. Is it that way? No. Even after begetting children, the father also exists. The children also exist. So if that is possible in case of just a living entity, ordinary human, then what is to be said about the Supreme Lord? He existed before the creation. He is the material cause of the creation, and He continues to exist even after the creation in His same original form. Even after material existence, whatever, again it becomes, goes back into Him after destruction, still He continues to exist. This is Advayam. Sarva Anusyutam Advayam. This we can see how, even in the pastime of Lord Krishna, in many of His incarnations, specifically Lord Krishna, when He incarnated 5,000 years ago, we find in the description of Bhagavatam how Krishna was simultaneously present in 16,108 palaces. With each of the queens, inside each of those palaces, He was engaged in different varieties of activities. And at a certain point of time, He used to exit from all of those individual palaces, come outside, and He used to assume one single form and then enter the Sudharma assembly hall for His whatever official purposes there. And again, after all His official work in the assembly hall, again He used to expand Himself into all those different forms and enter into each of those palaces separately. So this is possible by the Supreme Lord. And we find the same, such exhibition of the Lord's potency in case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. During the Rath Yatra festival, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expanded Himself into 7 forms, 7 different Sankirtana parties, 4 in the front, 1 at the 2 either side, 1 behind. In all of those 7 Sankirtana parties, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simultaneously existed. This was seen by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Maharaja Prataparudra. They were dumbfounded to see this. And then again, when the Lord wanted to dance, He brought all the Sankirtana parties together, and then in the center of that, He danced in ecstasy. Beautiful, whatever description we find in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, it is possible by the Lord. He is Advaya, He is Sarva Anusyuta. He has entered into everything. Still, He exists in His original position. He is not divided. He has not become divided. This is one understanding. Then, another important point mentioned here in the purport. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection. But a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. The pure devotee sees the whole material world full of darkness. Why? Where is darkness? It's full of light, sunlight is there, electricity is there, we may say. But no. Though all of these things are there, apparently it's all temporary, it's all illusory. All living entities in the material world, they are involved in sense gratificatory activities, which is asat. So any activity bereft of Krishna consciousness is darkness or ignorance. Any activity done as a service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness, then there is light. That's the only ray of hope or the ray of light. It is possible even in the material world. So devotees see only this light here. Otherwise everything else is darkness only. Involvement in all kinds of sense gratificatory activities with no knowledge of the Supreme Lord, with no devotional service. It's only darkness. Though the Lord is present in this material world, but as a reflection, abhasa. See, now let us see how the Supreme Lord, He is, we say, reciprocal. Ye yatha mam prapadyate tams tathaiva bhajamya. The Supreme Lord, He is reciprocal. The Supreme Lord, He is present in this material world, but only as a reflection. But still, pure devotees, they are able to identify, they are able to make out His presence even in the material world, though He is just available here as abhasa or as a reflection only. They understand this and they surrender to the Supreme Lord, perform devotional service to the Supreme Lord even in the material world. I have brought one portion from the Chaitanya Charitamrita where how one of the close, the most intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came towards him and offered himself at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the most intimate personality. Who is that? Any guess? Most intimate to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu. Okay. Any other answer? Ramananda Raya. One more personality along with him. Swarupa Damodara Goswami. I'll read this portion from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. How Swarupa Damodara Goswami, who is said to be the next, I'll read out, very beautifully that explanation is given. He was very intimate to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How he came and surrendered to the Supreme Lord. In fact, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa, Swarupa Damodara Goswami, who was also residing in Navadvipa, became mad and he couldn't bear the separation from the Lord. So he thought, let me also take sannyasa and go along with Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given sannyasa by Keshava Bharati. Of course, there was a lot of opposition. He was very young, and whatever maybe the required rituals or etiquettes, many whatever qualifications, but somehow he was very inspired. Of course, the Supreme Lord himself inspired him through his heart. Keshava Bharati gave him sannyasa. But Swarupa Damodara Goswami, he went to Benares, then there he took sannyas and then came back to Jagannath Puri when the Lord returned from South India tour. And there he submits himself, how? My dear Lord, I had left you and gone, but you, out of your causeless mercy, have pulled me towards you. So very beautifully it is explained. I'll read that portion from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Aradine Aila Swarupa Damodara Prabhura Atyantamarmi Rasera Sagara. Aradine, the next day. So here, this is the portion where Mahaprabhu, after going to the South Indian tour, returns to Jagannath Puri. In fact, very recently we are hearing in the Prasadam Hall also this portion of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Mahaprabhu returns from the South Indian tour, and devotees from various places, they start congregating in Jagannath Puri to reside in Jagannath Puri along with Mahaprabhu. So Paramananda Puri comes, Brahmananda Bharati comes, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servants, the Govinda, Kashishwara, many people, Ramananda Raya, he gives resignation for his whatever governorship of Madras and he comes. Likewise, all the devotees from different places, they arrive at Jagannath Puri. So, Swarupa Damodara Goswami also comes to Jagannath Puri. Aradine Aila Swarupa Damodara Prabhura Atyanta Marmi. Marmi means very intimate. Atyanta Marmi. Rasera Sagar. He is the ocean of all transcendental mellows. So through these verses we can make out the personality of Swarupa Damodara Goswami, who he was. He is very intimate to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the ocean of transcendental mellows. Purushottama Acharya Tanra Nama Purvashrame Navadvipe Chila Tenha Prabhura Charane. Purvashrame, in his Purvashrama, his name was Purushottama Acharya, his earlier name. Navadvipe Chila Tenha Prabhura Charane. He was residing under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvipa before Mahaprabhu took sannyasa. Then Prabhura sannyasa dekhi unmatta hayya sannyasa grahana kaila Varanasi kiya. Prabhura sannyasa dekhi, after looking at or seeing Mahaprabhu taking sannyasa, all the devotees in Navadvipa, their hearts were shattered. Every day, every night, they were spending their time participating in the Sankirtana of Mahaprabhu. And after a few years, Mahaprabhu now he has decided to take sannyasa. Taking sannyasa means he has to give up his home, his comforts, his all whatever associates, and he has to travel like a mendicant. Oh, they were heartbroken, seeing the impending separation from Mahaprabhu, who was so close to their hearts. So likewise, even Purushottama Acharya became broken-hearted. He became mad after hearing the news that Mahaprabhu will take sannyas. So what he did? He went to Varanasi Gya. He thought, let me also take sannyasa and go with Mahaprabhu. So he went to Varanasi at that point of time, Benares. चैतन्यानंद गुरु तारा आज्ञा दिले न तारे, वेदांत पढ़िया पढ़ाओ समस्त लोके रे. So he went to his sannyasa guru, Chaitanyananda Bharati. That was the name of Swarupa Damodara Goswami's sannyasa guru, Chaitanyananda Bharati. And after staying there, after studying the Vedanta, lot of time, many years he spent there. And at the end, his sannyasa guru, Chaitanyananda Bharati, ordered him, Vedanta padiya padao samasta loke re. You read the Vedanta and teach the whatever message of Vedanta to all the people around the world. At the conclusion of his sannyasa, his spiritual master Chaitanyananda Bharati ordered him, read the Vedanta Sutra and teach it to all others. So this was the instruction he received from his sannyasa guru. And then Parama Virakta Tenha Parama Pandita Kaya Mane Ashriyache Shri Krishna Charita. So Swarupa Damodara Goswami was Parama Virakta, highly renounced. Parama Pandita, very intelligent, highly knowledgeable. Kaya Mane Ashriyache Shri Krishna Charita. Kaya, Mana, that is body, his mind, everything absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. Pandityera avadhi vakya nahi karo sane, nirjane rahaye lokasabha nahi jane. Pandityera avadhi, he was the limit of scholarship. Swarupa Damodara was the limit of all learned scholarship. But he did not exchange words with anyone. Usually that happens in the material world. If I have got some knowledge, something special, we try to present it in front of everyone. Maybe for some cheap adoration, glorification, as if I know everything. That will be the usual thing what we find in the material world. Intelligent people, they want to show that in front of everyone. But here we see Swarupa Damodara Goswami, who is said to be the limit of all learned scholarship. But he did not exchange words with anyone. What was he doing? Nirjane rahaye lokasabha nahi jane. He simply remained in a solitary place and no one could understand where he was. He was not trying to make his presence in front of everyone, show off all his scholarship, his talent and all of these in front of everyone. He just remained in secluded place, silent. It is one of the qualifications of a pure devotee. Mauni. He doesn't speak like with all common people, like some mundane talks and all. But when it comes to preaching Krishna consciousness, he will be very eager. But otherwise, he is silent. On the opposite of this, we find material people wanting to show off, speak eloquently, just for some name and fame, for cheap reputation. And if at all some little talents, abilities, something they have got, wanting to present it in front of everyone. So this is not a pure devotee. A pure devotee, we see here, Swarupa Damodara. Then, Krishna Rasa Tattva Veta Deha Paramarupa Sakshat Mahaprabhura Dvitiya Swarupa. Sri Swarupa Damodara was the personification of ecstatic love, fully cognizant of the transcendental mellows in relationship with Krishna. He directly represented Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his second expansion. Again I repeat, Sakshat Mahaprabhura Dvitiya Swarupa. He directly represented Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his second expansion. He was almost like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Grantha Shloka Gita Keha Prabhu Pashe Ane Swarupa Pariksha Kaile Pache Prabhu Sune. So we have heard this also, how if anyone composes some literature, Grantha or Shloka, some verses glorifying Mahaprabhu, or Gita, some songs, if at all they have to present it in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, directly no one was allowed to do this. First, Swarupa Pariksha Kaile Pache Prabhu Shune. First it used to be examined by Swarupa Damodara Goswami, only then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would listen to it. Anyone comes with any offer to glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to tell something about Krishna or anything, any book or whatever, first it will be checked by Swarupa Damodara Goswami. Without which Mahaprabhu was not ready to hear that, because some rasa bhasa, mixing of mellows, some philosophical, all those mistakes would be there, which used to give pain to Mahaprabhu's heart. So he was not listening to that until and unless it was examined and passed by Swarupa Damodara Goswami. Vidyapati Chandidasa Gita Govinda Eitina Gite Karana Prabhura Ananda. He used to recite very nicely Vidyapati's composition, Chandidasa's composition, specifically Gita Govinda of Jayadeva Goswami, and Mahaprabhu used to become very happy hearing them. Sangite Gandharva Sama Shastre Brihaspati Damodara Sama Ara Nahi Mahamati. In Sangita, in music, he was like Gandharva. In knowledge, he was like Brihaspati. So he was a very big musician, very big scholar. Damodara Sama Ara Nahi Mahamati. There was no one equal to Swarupa Damodara Goswami. Advaita Nityanandera Parama Priyatama Shrivasadi Bhakta Ganera Haya Prana Sama. So he is also very dear to Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu. For Srivasadi Bhaktagana, Prana Sama was the life and soul of all the devotees headed by Srivasa Thakura. They were very intimately related, very close. Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, along with everyone. Say Damodara Asi Dandavat Haila Charane Padiya Shloka Padite Lagila. So that's Swarupa Damodara Goswami. After taking sannyasa, of course, the way he took sannyasa, he did not wear saffron dress. He took up those austerities, but he did not want to show in front of people of all of those things. And after all of those things, he came to Jagannath Puri, fell at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and he recited this one very beautiful verse. So this verse explains the quality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very beautifully mentioned here. Helodhunita khedaya vishadaya pronmila damodaya shamyat shastra vivadaya rasadaya chittarpiton madaya shashvat bhakti vinodaya samadaya madhurya maryadaya Shri Chaitanya dayanide tavadaya bhuyana mandodaya. So here we see Hela uddhunita khedaya. Hela means very easily, uddhunita, throwing it away. Khedaya, all kinds of lamentation. Vishadaya, that which purifies everything. Pronmilat amodaya, who awakens amoda or transcendental bliss. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Very easily he can dispel all kinds of lamentation and who can inspire, who can awaken transcendental bliss in one's heart. Then Shamyat Shastra Vivadaya mitigates all the Vivada, Shastra Vivada, because different Vedic literature, scriptures, different propositions come up. So this Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mitigates all the misunderstandings, disagreements among all Vedic literatures, and he presents Rasadaya Chittarpita Unmadaya. He presents transcendental mellows which makes one's heart become maddened. Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya. Shashvat means very easily or always. Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya. He stimulates bhakti. And Madhurya Maryadaya. Maryadaya means the limit, who shows the limit of the highest transcendental love of Godhead to the maximum extent, the limit he shows. And Sri Chaitanya Daya Nidhe Tavadaya Bhuyat Amandodaya. I am very unfortunate soul, a fallen conditioned soul. Kindly bestow your mercy upon me. So this is the verse which Swarupa Damodara Goswami offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the last portion, just read and finish with this. Tumi ye asibe aji swapne te dekhila balahaila andhayena dui netra paila. Hearing this, looking at Swarupa Damodara Goswami, he says, actually I had got a dream yesterday that yes, you will be coming. Now that you have come, it's just like I've got my eyes. Till now I felt I was like blind man getting his eyesight. That's the happiness which I am feeling. This was the expression of Mahaprabhu. And then Swarupa kahe Prabhu mora kshama aparadha toma chadi anyatra genu karino pramada. Swarupa said, my dear Lord, please excuse my offense. I gave up your company to go elsewhere, and that was my great mistake. Mahaprabhu had left and gone to Varanasi to learn and take sannyas and so many other things. That was a great mistake what I did. Now, Tomara charane mora nahi prema lesha Toma chadi papi mui genu anya desha. My dear Lord, I do not possess even a trace of love for your lotus feet. If I did, how could I have gone to another country? I am therefore a most sinful man. The last one. Moi toma chadila tumi more na chadila kripa pashe gale bandhi charane anila. I gave up your company, but you did not give me up. By your rope of mercy, you have bound me by the neck and brought me back again to your lotus feet. So Swarupa Damodara Goswami glorifies Mahaprabhu that I had left you and gone, but you did not leave me. You have bound me by the rope of your mercy around my neck and have pulled me towards your lotus feet. So this is the very intimate, very beautiful relationship, interaction between the Supreme Lord and His pure devotees. So this is of course, this is the mood in which devotees also pray to the Lord. We find in that song, Dainya O Prapatti, humility and surrender. Hari he doyal mora, Jai Radhanata, Bar bar e baro, loho nijasatha. Again and again, my dear Lord, I have left your company. I went away from you. Loho nijasatha. Now you kindly accept me. And that acceptance also, it's not that I am very qualified person, I am highly qualified, I have great devotion, no, not of that sort. It's only by your mercy you accept me. You are the deliverer of the fallen soul. So, out of your compassion, out of your mercy, you kindly lift me up from this place and kindly place me at the shelter of your lotus feet. So likewise, one more last point, this whatever abhasa, we find how the pure devotees, even though the Supreme Lord is there in the material world, in this whatever manifestation of false ego, is there as abhasa, as a reflection, but still pure devotees, they are able to see him. Likewise, we can find how the mercy of the Supreme Lord, even though a devotee renders service, may not be completely out of pure love, in a purified state of genuine love. No, even though it be abhasa, a reflection only, still the Supreme Lord bestows His mercy upon such devotees. This was the statement made by Haridas Thakur in the assembly, in the house of the two Majumdars, Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, wherein Haridas Thakur starts glorifying the effects of chanting the holy names of the Lord. And he says, like 3 stages of whatever this chanting is mentioned. One is the offensive stage, aparadha, where performing a lot of offenses, and there is one nama bhasa, wherein dim reflection of whatever of pure chanting, and then shuddha nama. So of course we can understand how a devotee, by chanting shuddha nama, chanting offenselessly, yes, he becomes purified, gets love of God and everything. No, not just that. Haridas Thakur says, even nama bhasa, that means a dim reflection of chanting of the holy names of the Supreme Lord, gives a living entity such benediction which cannot be obtained even by great whatever followers of the Mukti Marga for finding liberation. Great whatever people, yogis, they perform austerities and they want to become liberated. But just nama abhasa itself, a reflection of chanting the holy names of the Lord, its byproduct is mukti or liberation. What more it can give. So this is the process what we have in front of us, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, which can award us the highest perfection. Even though, of course, we are all in the offensive stage, but gradually, if we elevate stage to the nama bhasa, even the nama bhasa stage itself, we will be liberated from this material world and gradually elevating to Shuddha Nama, chanting purely gives us love of Godhead. So with this we will conclude. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,